Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports File here on TV Cogeco. I'm your host, Samantha McFadden. Each week we give you an inside look into the Sarnia-Lambton sports scene, and this week we begin out on the ice. The sport of ringette was first invented in 1963 in Northern Ontario and has spread to all across Canada, the US, Sweden, Finland, and France. Like hockey, ringette is played on ice, but instead of regular hockey sticks and pucks, players use straight sticks and hollow rings. The Forest Ringette League allows girls of all ages to enjoy the Canadian sport of ringette. After the break, we take a look at the Junior A team. Stay tuned. The Forest Junior A girls team had a lot of success in both their tournament play and regular season. I sat down with the team's head coach to talk about how he first got involved in coaching and about his team's regular season action. After the break, we profile a local ringette player. Stay tuned. Ringette provides players of all ages with the opportunity to enjoy the unique on-ice sport while developing their skills. I traveled to Forest to talk with one player about why she decided to join ringette and how she hopes to see the sport grow over the next few years.
I first got into Supercross racing when I was 18 years old back in 2012. This will be going on my 5th year now doing it. I started racing and riding when I was 4 years old, and then I've continued since Ford to I'm now 22 years old. What first got me into the sport was my 4 older brothers used to race, and then I kind of followed in their footsteps until they got older and they retired, and then I just kept going with it. My style of racing is a little different. I'm smoother, but yet still aggressive. When it comes to making a pass, I like to make it quick. So if it means I have to bump somebody or hit somebody, I'll move them and get to the lead. The biggest challenge is the obstacles. There's a lot more obstacles in Supercross than there is on a traditional motocross track. So finding the rhythm and then doing all the jumps and everything like that, it's a little bit more technical and a little bit more difficult. Yeah, getting a pro career out of Supercross is extremely difficult. There's only a few that make it, and then to make it your job is even that much harder. So for me, I've been fortunate enough to do this as a living, and now going on 5 years as being a professional has been very fortunate and thankful. The physical training that goes into each race is pretty demanding. It's usually 5 days a week, and then you race on the weekend. So for me, it's a full-time job, on a road bike, in the gym, swimming, anything I can do to just give myself that extra edge I take. The hours spent on the track itself in the week during free time and practice and stuff like that would vary anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, and then on race weekends you spend close to 2 hours on the track. The mental side of it is just basically clearing your head and not getting intimidated or feeling any doubt. You just basically have to go out there and approach each race as an individual race and not think anything further, just race it as one race at a time. Yeah, I mean, you can have a guy that's the fastest at a practice track, but you get to a race, and if he doesn't have the mental edge on somebody, he's not going to be the best there. So definitely it comes a big role in being mentally strong, like in any sport, whether it's hockey, football, baseball. It comes down to just being mentally, knowing that you did everything to prepare and you're the best and to be the best. The biggest challenge going from venue to venue, place to place is it's a variety of things. Track's different, dirt's different. Maybe as simple as your bike doesn't work the same on a different track as it would the track previous to that. So finding the right balance of working with your mechanic to get your bike set up and being as comfortable as you can right away with the track helps huge to obviously get you better in the race. For the U.S. circuit and Canadian circuit, U.S. does Supercross and motocross. Canadian does motocross and now working on doing arena cross, so it's a little different. U.S. starts in the 1st of January, ends in September, beginning of September, and then over in Canada it starts usually around the 1st of June and ends right around the end of October. The U.S. is a lot, I guess you'd say a lot more talented with riders. There's obviously the population, and I mean, like anything in the U.S., it's always the place you want to be at to be the best. So for me, it's always going over there and trying to do my best to battle and fight for position and be known as one of the top guys over there, as well as over here in my home country. So being a Canadian, I always grew up racing in the U.S., and then it always made me better. I mean, there's always better racers, more racers, and then the competition and everything like that's a lot deeper. Yeah, being one of the few Canadians that get to make this as their living is very fortunate for me. I've always grown up knowing that I wanted to race motocross, and then being able to do it in my home country, I'm very thankful for that opportunity. So for me, it's amazing. I take each day as, you know, just a blessing, and being able to get up every morning and get to ride dirt bikes and train and everything like that, just to be my, you know, do it as a hobby and do it as a job. I mean, it's amazing. So each day I push myself to be, you know, better and better to one day, you know, maybe be champion. Being one of the few Canadians is, I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, but for over here, there's only a few that make a living at it. And then over in the States, I mean, there's, you know, probably 20 to 30 guys, where over here there's only maybe, if lucky, 4 or 5 guys. So I think everybody in America knows that if you're racing over there, you're the best, you're at the top level. The money's a lot higher, and it's where you want to be. So for me, I've always grown up knowing that, and, you know, I'm going to keep chasing that dream till I can't anymore. The goals for Supercross are just to honestly go out and, like I said before, is just do each race as an individual race and do the best I can in that race and always progress. You know, no matter if it's winning or if it's a 10th or 20th, whatever it is, always progress the next weekend. And I did that this summer, and it worked really good, and I'm going to keep doing it this winter and focus on getting better. The biggest thing to get, you know, to where I want to be is obviously riding the bike, but the training side of it's where it comes down to, you know, being a little bit fitter than the other guy or the guys ahead of you is what's going to take you to the next level. So fitness is a big role in what I got to do to get better, and I think that's where I've been working lately a lot harder, and it's been paying off. For racers that are looking to get into it, the biggest thing is, you know, start out just having fun with it. I mean, at my age, it's like, you know, it is what everybody says, it's just have fun. It's a sport, you know, you got to just enjoy it. So to get into it, I mean, start out small and, you know, just keep progressing, I guess, is the biggest thing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports File here on TV Koja Go. I'm your host, Samantha McFadden. Each week we give you an inside look into the Sarnia Lambton sports scene, and this week we begin by profiling a local professional lacrosse player. Moortown native Ty Belanger never pictured he'd be playing goalie in the National Lacrosse League, but after being drafted in 2011 by the Colorado Mammoth, Ty has appeared in over 42 games in 4 seasons. He continues to build his career as a backup goalie for the New England Black Wolves. After the break, we take a look at a program dedicated to allowing kids to enjoy the sport of lacrosse. Stay tuned. The Janny Two-Hander program was first developed in 2013 by Brian DeWagner. The program is designed to allow kids the opportunity to enjoy the game while building self-confidence with no financial burden on the families. Here is a closer look at the program. People packed the gallery on the Bay Tuesday to celebrate the launch of Stephen Brunt's new book, All the Way, My Life on Ice. Brunt is a Hamilton-born writer who has worked at the Globe and Mail since 1982 and in 2011 signed exclusively to work at Sportsnet. Over the years, Brunt has authored several other successful books, including Gretzky's Tears and the #1 Canadian bestseller, Searching for Bobby Orr. His new book tells the story of NHL All-Star Jordan Tootoo and his journey from Nunavut to the National Hockey League. Brunt says it was extremely important to tell Tootoo's story to help open the eyes of many, not only the people from the north where Jordan is from, but everyone who's battled with alcoholism.
You know, I think that what he's done is open the door and show people things that normally are private, that he's been very, very honest. He's an extraordinarily honest guy. And I think by doing that, there are a lot of people who are going to read this and say, that's me, or that's my life, or, you know, if he got through this, I can get through it. And I know that's important to him, and it's important to me as well, obviously, as his collaborator. It's terrific to think that a book might be more than just entertainment.
Those in attendance were happy to support a local author.
Stephen Brunt is from Hamilton, well known. He writes a lot of good books. I see him on with Bob McCowan all the time on television. So I want to come out, support a good writer, make sure we do support our writers, make sure we look after our authors, especially the good ones that are looking after us.
The book is available on Amazon.ca, Indigo.ca, and in any Kohl's or Chapter stores. For Ignite Sports, I'm Sam McFadden. The Janny Two-Hander program partnered with several schools across North America who donated their resources and equipment to allow the program the chance to provide players with everything they need to join in on the